Hello friends, welcome to next part in blog series on developing an OCR Vision AI. As we saw in previous blogs, this is the chatbot Vision AI application we are going to build. Our end product is going to look exactly like this application. In our previous post, we discussed a high-level solution architecture diagram. We covered a lot of theory, how our system application is going to look like from architecture perspective. As we discussed that we are going to build this entire application one step at a time. So in today's post, we are going to focus on one such component, that is creating a SQLite database for your data storage. We already covered most of the architecture details in last post. So if you are finding this blog for the first time, please take some time to review earlier post to get some background. Here is one X link where you can find this blog. If you go to my profile and browse to my X highlights, you'll find this video blog here. Similarly, if you browse to YouTube channel, you will see the same video, and if you are a pro developer and just want to see some code, you can go to my GitHub repository directly, and while you are there, I request you to please follow my X account at ashuklax, GitHub handle amitxshukla, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at amit.shukla. In today's section, we are going to focus on building one functionality which addresses SQLite. So let's get started. Initiating a SQL database. As I stated earlier, we are not going to worry about other parts of apps for now. And in this section, we are going to write the code to address one specific problem. Once a file is dropped, it is going to trigger some local AI logic or some built-in process, which reads the data and then write the data to a SQL or a vector database. Now, since entire logic and other parts of this application are not ready yet, we are just getting started. So let's first work on this one specific problem, which is initiate and get ready with a SQL-like database. Because once file is dropped, Vision AI reads the content of the file. You will need a place to store all of these text contents of this file somewhere. This is the reason we are initiating a SQL database here in this blog post today. And in the next blogs, we are going to do the similar setup for vector databases like ChromaDB and FIS. Let's get started with setting up an SQLite database in Python. Import SQLite 3. Now this import keyword, it is used to include a module in your script. And SQLite 3, this is the module that provides a lightweight disk-based database. It doesn't require a separate server process and allows access to the database using a non-standard variant of the SQL query language. So if you're just getting started, you want to do some experiment, SQLite 3, I highly recommend this package. Let's write def create database. So def is the keyword used to define a new function, and create database, this is the name of the new function. Now we need to connect to this SQL database or create it if it does not exist. So then here what we need to do, first we write conn equals to sql3.connect imply.db. So conn, C-O-N-N-N, this C-O-N-N, this is actually a variable that will hold the connection object. And assignment operator, which is equals to sql3.connect. What this method is going to do, this method connects to the actual SQLite database. If this database does not exist, it will be created. Now here implied.db, as you can see, this is passed as a parameter to SQLite3.connect. The implied.db is the name of the database file. Finally, we write cursor equals to conn.cursor. So cursor actually is nothing but this is a variable that will hold the cursor object. And conn.cursor, this method creates a cursor object, which is used to create and execute SQL commands. Now let's create a table for employee records. So first we start with the comment that what we are going to do, and then we write cursor.execute. Now cursor.execute, this is the method which is used to execute SQL commands. And then we write triple quotes. So triple quotes are actually used to define a multi-line string. So if you have a comments which goes for more than one line, always a good idea to write those comments inside triple quotes. Then we write create table if not exist implies. So create table, again, this is a SQL command which creates a new table. If not exist, what it means that this clause ensures that table is only created if it does not already exist. Then we write implies. Implies is the name of the table. And inside that syntax, then we define the fields. So ID is an integer, which is a primary key auto increment. So ID is the name of the first column. An integer, that means this data type is specified. The column will store integer values. Primary key, now this content ensured that columns will have unique values and will be used as the primary key. Auto increment, this keyword ensured that the value of the column will automatically increment with each new record. Then name is the next field, which is of type text and which is not null. So as you can see, name is the second column, and text, the data type is specified. That column will store text values which are not nullable. Now this constant ensured that column cannot have null values because you don't want to store an employee record which is not null. Third field is position, again which is of text, not null. And similarly, you can have another columns. Now salary is the real, not null. Salary is the name of the fourth column. Real is the data type which is specified. The column will store real floating point numbers, and not null, again because this constant ensured that column cannot have null values. Alright, so now we are going to insert a dummy employee record. First of all, again, you just insert some comments and then you write the SQL statement inside the cursor.execute. So again, cursor.execute, this method is used to execute SQL commands. And here we'll again going to write our comments inside the triple quotes, and then we actually write the SQL statement which is going to insert that new employee record. So we write insert into employees and name, position, salary. And insert into, actually this SQL syntax, what it does, it inserts the new data into the table, which is of table name is employees. Okay. Now there are three columns we are going to insert the data. Three columns are name, position, and salary, and the values are John Doe, software engineer, and 75K. So again, this keyword specified the values which needs to be inserted: John Doe, software engineer, and then 75K. These are the values which will be inserted. And then finally what we do, con.commit. So what this method does, this commits the changes made to this database. And please, last but not the least, do not forget to close the connection. So con.close is always a good idea to use this method, as this method closes the connection to the database. Now finally, we are going to define our main function. So use the keyword say def to define the main function. Main is the name of the function. So this suggests that function will be the main entry point of the script. And then we because there's no parameters, we say create database. So this calls the create database function we defined earlier, and inside that we are just going to use a print statement saying database and dummy records have created successfully. Please, it's a good idea to always print the statement so that you can always see what's going on inside your application. Okay, and then you want to say name equals to main, because this keyword is used to start a conditional statement, and use the double surrender methods. These are the special variable methods in Python that represents the name of the module. So we say if name equals to main, so this is the value, and then we say script is run directly. Otherwise this script will not be executed if this Python script file is not called through a Python command line interface. That's all I wanted to achieve in this video today. So as you saw in this video, we created a very simple cron table job which monitors the activity on a drive. So as soon as a file is dropped, it does something. So this is a very basic functionality what we have created. So in next series of the blocks, as we dive into more and more deeper and try to build this more sophisticated components, we are going to make use of, we'll come back and make use of this functionality what we have created, and we are going to enhance it further. So that's all I wanted to achieve in this video today. I hope you like it. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment on my GitHub repository. If you have any issues, open an issue log and I'll be happy to help you out. Thank you very much. Stay tuned.